Good morning. Welcome to day 5 of Instant Pot Week. I'm so excited for today. We're talking all about yogurt. Today I'm going to be showing you step by step how to make dairy yogurt, and then today at noon, Michelle from Thriving on Paleo will be showing you her non-dairy yogurt. And I'm so excited to see that recipe because I love dairy-free yogurt. I'm going to give you guys a minute to jump on. Go ahead, say hello, and as always, feel free to ask questions while you watch. And I've had a lot of you email me after the videos to ask questions, and that's totally fine too, but you can also drop them on the Facebook video or the YouTube video, and I will try my best to respond as quickly as possible. So I'm going to give you guys a minute to jump on, and let me make sure that everything is working on my end. Thank you guys so much for being here. This has been a jam-packed week. We have gone over so much, and we still have 2 days. Tomorrow we're talking all about flavor, and then Saturday we're talking all about dessert in your Instant Pot. It's gonna be great, so you wanna stay tuned for the entire week. Okay, let me make sure I am live here. Sometimes it takes a minute for my computer to refresh, and I just want to make sure that there's no bad connection. It's hard to tell when you're filming sometimes if there's a bad connection. Okay, looks good for me. Let's get started. So, Instant Pot yogurt, it is one of those things where I have to tell you that I was completely hesitant to make yogurt at home because I can buy high quality yogurt at the grocery store. I always buy plain, unsweetened Greek yogurt or just regular yogurt, and I can sweeten it and control it at home. So I thought, why would I make yogurt in the Instant Pot? Because it seemed intimidating, it seemed overwhelming because the process is long. It's not quick. But I have to tell you that I decided, let's go ahead, let's experiment. And I will never, ever, ever buy yogurt from the store again, unless I'm in like a complete bind. Because for 2 reasons. One, the taste of homemade yogurt is by far superior. One bite and I never want to go back. It's so much creamier, it's so much less tangy, it is delicious. Even without being sweetened, it is phenomenal. And then the cost. The cost of homemade yogurt is less than half of what you buy at the grocery store. And you all know that I am a frugal lady, so if I can save money and make something taste even better, that's gonna be my go-to. And I bet after you try Instant Pot yogurt, you're gonna be a believer too. Hey Michelle, okay, so we are, like I said, homemade yogurt in the Instant Pot is not hard. It is time consuming, but it is not hard. And it's really hands-off time consuming. So you really, the first little bit, for the first hour that you start, you need to be around, and that's it. So then you can kind of set it and forget it. So it's really, really, really not hard. And when I say time consuming, I just mean that your Instant Pot is going to be consumed with making the yogurt. You are not going to be consumed with making the yogurt. So we're gonna get started. We're gonna pretend that this water here is milk because I wanna be able to walk you through the process and not ruin my milk while I'm walking you through the process, because we're not going to do it exactly the way that you're supposed to, so I can demonstrate it appropriately and not take 10 hours. So I suggest a half a gallon of milk. This is 4 cups, which is a quart of milk. And that's fine too. It doesn't matter. You can use a half a gallon, you can use a quart, you can use a gallon if you have the 8-quart Instant Pot. The amount that you make is not as important as the steps that you follow. And on my recipe, I break down what to do if you're cutting it in half or if you're doubling the recipe. But I suggest a half gallon. You can freeze some fresh yogurt and use it later, but it'll also last for about 10 to 14 days. And my family goes through a lot of yogurt. We use it in baking. We use it in homemade Go-Gurts. We use it in smoothies. We use it in oatmeal. I mean, we use yogurt all the time. So for us, I definitely make the half gallon. So this is the first step. Let me plug in my Instant Pot here. That would help so that you can see. And I love this little tip that Michelle taught us this week, that you just stick your lid with the handle on the side there so that it holds it. Another thing I want to point out is that I'm using my blue inner ring. If you watch the first day, I have rings for sweet dishes and rings for savory dishes, and yogurt is one that I definitely, this blue one is my yogurt only ring, because I don't want any smell to contaminate my yogurt. But I did forget one important step. I pour boiling hot water into my inner pot before making the yogurt, and that just helps get rid of any residue, any cleaning agents, anything on my Instant Pot, so that my yogurt is truly pure. So you would pour in some boiling hot water, swish it around, dump it out, dump your inner pot out, put it back in. Those rings, Michelle, I just got from Amazon. So if you go to my blog on amindfulmom.com/Instant Pot Yogurt, I tell you the rings that I have and link right to them. You don't have to go through my blog. You can just go on Amazon and type in 6-quart Instant Pot inner rings and it'll come right up. Or you can type in 8-quart Instant Pot inner rings or mini Instant Pot inner rings and it'll bring it right up. Okay, so we've poured in. We're going to pretend this is half a gallon of milk. And we're going to you're going to push your yogurt button right here until it reads boil. I'm going to adjust it and see it says boil. So you hit yogurt and then adjust and it says boil. It's going to be blinking and you can hear it just beeped, that now it's going to boil. You don't have to do anything. You can walk away. The boil cycle is going to take about an hour. So this is the time you want to make sure that you're home and available in an hour. And it doesn't matter if you have your lid on vent or seal for the yogurt process, because we're not really getting a high pressure. We're really just maintaining temperature. That's the important thing of what the Instant Pot does, is it maintains the perfect temperature for yogurt. Okay, so we're going to pretend that this is boiled, that this has reached its hour. You don't have to say, oh, has it been an hour? This will beep and let you know. And then what you do, I'm just going to turn this off, is you're going to test your temperature. You want to make sure that your milk has reached 180 degrees. And that is... So what you're going to do is you're just going to use an instant read thermometer or a candy thermometer, and you're going to put it in to the center of the water. Try not to touch the bottom of the Instant Pot, the inner pot, so that you get an accurate temperature of the actual milk. And you're going to want it to read about 180 degrees. If it's 178, if it's 182, that's okay. But you really want it to be as close to 180 degrees as possible. Once it hits 180 degrees, with pot holders, you're going to take out your inner pot and you're going to let it sit on your counter for about an hour to cool down to about 108 to 115 degrees. Now, if you want to speed up this process, which I do, I get a big mixing bowl and fill it with ice water. Sort of like shocking vegetables after you steam them to stop the cooking process. And then you just nestle in your inner pot into that ice water. And you're going to stir it every little bit and you're gonna keep checking the temperature. To put it in ice water, it takes about 15 minutes to cool down to the right temperature before you're ready to start the actual yogurt incubation. So again, you're looking for 108 degrees to 112 degrees. That's the perfect yogurt temperature. So again, you're gonna get out your instant read thermometer. You wanna give this a stir every little bit. If you notice that there's like skin on top of the milk, just kind of skim that off with a spoon and discard it. You can stir it into your milk yogurt. It's not gonna hurt it, but if you really want a creamy texture, just discard it, you know, with a spoon. Just take it and lightly skim off that top and discard it. Okay, so again, we're gonna test the temperature. Oh, it says 108 degrees. So we're ready to go. At this point, you're gonna remove your your inner pot from the ice water. Hi Tina, oh, I'm so glad I popped up in your feed too. You've been wanting to make yogurt. I'm walking you through it live here, sort of. I mean, we're doing the quick version, but I have step-by-step recipes on my blog, so that should help too. Missy, it says video is not playing for you. I'm so sorry. Maybe refresh your screen and it'll come up. Okay, so I've removed this from my ice bath after it's hit that perfect temperature of between 108 and 112 degrees. And then what you do, you don't want to put your inner pot back in your Instant Pot if you've had it in ice water before you wipe it off. Okay, that's really, really important. Hey Debbie, we're making yogurt today. Plain yogurt. I'm gonna show you dairy yogurt. I'm gonna show you how to make Greek yogurt, and I'm gonna show you how to sweeten it as well. Okay, so it's hit the magic temperature. Now what do you do? Now you need to whisk in a yogurt starter or pre-made yogurt. The first time that you go to make yogurt in your Instant Pot, buy a high quality yogurt from the grocery store. One that has active cultures in it. And you'll know that it has active cultures in it because it'll say, and I am going to butcher these names, it'll say the lactose bacillus, and I've written that on my recipe so you know. You could also buy, and you can get this on Amazon, you can get this at like Whole Foods, Earth Fare. I love Greek yogurt too, Diane. And this is just little yogurt culture starters. And every starter is going to be a little bit different. For this one, I would need 2 packets to make a half a gallon of milk. So at this point, you're going to whisk in your starter. Either the starter that you buy, or for a half a gallon of yogurt, you're going to whisk in 2 tablespoons of prepared yogurt. I've already made yogurt from my Instant Pot, and so now it's homemade yogurt because I started with a good culture or yogurt, plain yogurt. You don't want to use vanilla yogurt. You don't want to use sweetened yogurt. You don't want to use like an Activia yogurt. You want to use like plain yogurt. Plain yogurt, any brand is fine. You can use Greek yogurt too, that's fine. You can use plain yogurt or Greek yogurt. That does not matter. But for every 4 cups, you need 1 tablespoon. So for a gallon, you would need 2 tablespoons. Or for half a gallon, you would need 2 tablespoons. For a gallon, you would need 4 tablespoons of yogurt for your starter. So you would whisk that in. So we're gonna pretend we're whisking that in. Now let's say you're using skim milk yogurt. A lot of people say, I really want to use skim milk and make non-fat yogurt, and there's no recipes for it. Well, you can use skim milk. That's totally fine, non-fat milk. I suggest adding like a tablespoon more of the yogurt or the starter, so that, or an extra packet, half a packet, so that you can help it to just solidify a little bit more. And I'll talk you through at the end what happens with skim milk that's a little bit different than like if you were to use whole milk or 2% milk or 1% milk. Okay, so we've whisked in our starter or our yogurt. We're gonna put our lid back on. Again, does not matter if your vent is to seal or to vent. It's not going to make any difference. You're going to, again, hit yogurt. Oh, and it's beeping at me because I don't have my lid perfectly on here. There we go. Now, the lid is on. I don't want it to be on boil. I want to hit adjust. Let's do off. Hit yogurt, adjust. It's at 24. I want it at 8 hours, okay? So I'm just gonna hit it to 8 hours. And that's the magic incubation period. And what the Instant Pot is going to do with this yogurt button is it's going to maintain that perfect temperature and incubate your yogurt perfectly. If you want tangier yogurt, which I love the creamy and non-tangy yogurt that I get by making it in my Instant Pot, set it for 10 hours. No big deal. I've had a lot of people ask me, can you make this without the yogurt button? My Instant Pot does not have a yogurt button, but I still want to make it. I have not tried that. It can be done, but it is not hands-off. You would have to turn your Instant Pot to saute, bring your milk up to 180 degrees, cool it down to 110, and then you would need to incubate it at 110 degrees for the whole time. Some people say you can put it on keep warm. That's a little bit warmer than 110 degrees. That's about 130 degrees in the Instant Pot. So that's not safe. You can't. You could turn it to keep warm and then turn it off and wrap it in a towel to keep it warm for 8 hours, but you're gonna continually need to come back and check that temperature to make sure that it stays at 110 degrees. So yes, it can be done. It's just a lot harder to do without the yogurt button. Camille, have you ever made yogurt with almond milk? Well, I'm excited to say that at noon today on Thriving on Paleo, she is going to be making a coconut milk yogurt, and she's going to talk through dairy-free yogurt. So that should hopefully help you, and I don't know if she's experimented with almond milk or not. I've tried it before, but I've whisked in the dairy yogurt starter, so I can't attest to that yet, but Michelle's going to be covering that later. Too complicated for me. Linda, I hear ya. This sounds super complicated, but if you have an Instant Pot with the yogurt button, all you have to do is it's like 3 steps, and then you set it to 8 hours and you forget about it. When it's done, you're going to open it up and you're going to see yogurt that you're going to see that you have yogurt. It's going to be regular consistency. It's not going to be Greek yogurt. If you've used skim milk yogurt, you're going to see that there is a little bit of liquid. That when you tilt the inner pot, you're going to see some liquid. You can drain that off or you can mix that in. Skim milk yogurt is going to be a little bit runnier than whole milk yogurt. And Michelle is talking about that almond milk might work, but it might be runnier than coconut milk because of the lack of the fat. Same thing with the difference between whole milk and skim milk. It'll work. It's just going to be runnier, and you can either discard that liquid, mix it in, or you can dump it into a little container. This looks gross here. This is the liquid that I got off after I strained my yogurt to make Greek yogurt, and I'll show you how to do that. And that's like the way. Okay, but let's get back. We have our yogurt. It's made. This is my Greek yogurt that's made. Oh, thank you, Debbie. I'm so glad that you feel like I've done a good job explaining the different steps. So this is what my regular yogurt looks like. And this batch is non-fat. So you can see it's runny. Tina, can you use kefir for the starter? Do you know? I have several friends that have used kefir for their starter, and it does work. So, so yes, Kathy, do you do anything with the whey? I was about to get there. I'm super excited. So let's say you want to make this regular yogurt into Greek yogurt. Let me show you what Greek yogurt looks like. It's a lot thicker. See? It's a lot thicker. Again, that's non-fat Greek yogurt. What you're going to do is you're going to take a mixing bowl and you're going to put a fine strainer over, and then I recommend a piece of cheesecloth. And you're going to set your cheesecloth into your strainer. You're going to dump your regular yogurt right on in, and then you're going to set it in your fridge overnight. And what's going to happen is overnight, all the they're going to be left with thick yogurt in the strainer and the whey in the bottom here. And then you just scoop out your thick yogurt, put it in a container like I have, throw away this cheesecloth. I'm sure you can wash it, but you just need a short little bit. If you want to wash it, go ahead, wash it, dry it, and you can reuse it for your next batch of yogurt. Just make sure you wash it well so that there's no bacteria. But then, do not discard this. People pay big dollars for whey protein powder. This is whey. This is protein. You can add this to smoothies. You can add it to oatmeal. You can add it to cooking things. It doesn't have much flavor. It gives it a little bit of tang. You can add it. We added it this morning to our oatmeal, and it's just a great way for me to get in some probiotics and some protein into my kids in a healthy, all-natural way that I controlled, that I wasn't buying, like a manufactured protein powder. So, like I said, I will only make yogurt now in my Instant Pot for several reasons: taste and cost. And I'm left with whey, which, for those of you who know my story, I have cystic fibrosis and I have trouble absorbing protein and fat. And so I need to eat extra fat and protein with and specific enzymes, so that what I do absorb, so that I can eat excess, so that I can get some that I need. So I'm always adding protein to things because I know that my body doesn't fully absorb it. I need to make sure that I get the recommended amount. And I do that with things like whey protein, Greek yogurt. Good morning, Christine. I hope that it's nice and warm today for you in Florida. It's cool here today in North Carolina, but the sun is shining, and I am a happy, happy person when the sun is shining. Okay, so that's it. I know that this total process takes about 9.5 hours if you use the quick, cool method. That sounds a lot. If you think about it though, you use your slow cooker to cook a roast for 9 hours. So it's kind of the same thing. It's very hands-off. It's very affordable, and the taste is superior. And that's the final thing I want to mention here, is that if you want sweetened yogurt, you can add in, to the half a gallon, you can add in a tablespoon of vanilla extract. That is usually all you need to sweeten this yogurt because it's got that creamy, non-tangy taste. But if your family is used to sweet yogurt, you can add in some maple syrup, some regular cane syrup or sugar. You can add in some coconut sugar. I would start with 1 tablespoon at a time, whisk it in and taste it to see if you need to add more. One thing I love to do is just serve it with fresh fruit, frozen fruit. We blend up frozen fruit with it to make homemade Go-Gurts, and then I freeze it in little popsicle, those clear popsicle bags, so that my kids can have Go-Gurts without the nasty food coloring and sugars and all that. And then we also use it to top with granola, which granola is sweet in and of itself, and so we don't need the extra sweeteners. But do what your family likes. Tina, oh, thank you so much. Yes, you can make fresher, healthier, and more economical than store-bought with really no effort. The only thing that you need is a digital thermometer, milk, and yogurt starters, which I'm glad I brought that back up, because this tip you don't want to miss. Once you have made homemade yogurt for the first time, take out an ice cube tray. Take some of your homemade yogurt, and remember you need 1 tablespoon for every 4 cups. 1 tablespoon of prepared yogurt with active cultures for every 4 cups. This little cookie scoop I have, I've measured it, is a half a tablespoon. So for each ice cream, or ice cube, not ice cream, ice cube tray, it fits exactly 1 tablespoon. And so it was 2 little scoops of this. By all means, you can use a tablespoon measure. I just like that this scoops it out so I don't have to worry. And you're gonna freeze these. Once it's frozen solid in your ice cube tray, freeze it, pop it out, put it in a frozen bag, or a freezer safe bag labeled yogurt starter. Keep it in your freezer. When you wanna make homemade yogurt again, take as many starters as you're gonna need. Remember, each one is 1 tablespoon, so if you're making a half a gallon, you would need 2. If you're using skim milk, I would use 3. And then pull them out, let them defrost in your fridge. So naturally, don't try to microwave them. It does not take long for a little tablespoon to defrost. So in a few hours, you'll be able to whisk that into your homemade yogurt. Thank you, Kathy. I hope that yours has a yogurt button and that works. I'm so sorry if you don't. But you can enter our giveaway for an Instant Pot today at thrivingonpaleo.com/giveaway. And today's word is cheesecloth. And you can remember that because you need cheesecloth to make Greek yogurt from the regular yogurt. So I hope that helped. I hope that now you don't feel super intimidated with making yogurt. There is nothing to be intimidated about. Yogurt starter, milk, and a thermometer, and it's pre-programmed for you. Again, you can find my recipe on my blog, and today at noon, be sure to join Michelle for her dairy-free coconut milk yogurt. I can't wait to try it myself. How long is the yogurt good, Cindy? It's good for 10 to 14 days. So when I get it out, I put it in a container like this and I seal it. And I put it in 2-cup containers. Once I open it, I try to use it within 4 days. But then I can use it for, the 2 weeks if I keep it sealed. You can freeze it too. You can freeze yogurt if you made a big batch and you were afraid your family wouldn't go through it. That's it. But like I said, my family goes through yogurt quickly. And you can also half the recipe too, so that it's fresh. All right, guys, thanks so much. Be sure to join me here tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern. I will be making Instant Pot chicken chili, and it's gonna blow your mind because I'm gonna use dried beans and frozen chicken. In under an hour, I'm gonna have dinner on the table. It's pretty awesome. All right, guys, take care. Thanks so much for joining us. Bye.